Peace, peace, peace. This your brother Monroe Jr. I'm gonna be offering my brief commentary right after this quick clip. Peace.
What you doing?
Meek, what about this brings the holiday spirit to so many people in this community?
Everything, because when I grew up, I only had my mom to give me toys. So I got the platform to help out my community. Why not do it? It's really an easy thing to do, and we're making it work. My son, he could get toys for Christmas, but everybody can't afford and have situations where they can have a good Christmas. So we wanted to bring our Christmas back to our old neighborhood.
What's your son's name?
Poppy, what you wanted for Christmas? What's the only thing you wanted? Would you tell me what you wanted for Christmas? Huh?
You to get married.
Oh, for me to get married? Damn, I never heard that ever in my life. Yeah,
Who's the lucky lady?
I don't know who the lucky lady is. That's the first time I ever heard that. He told me he wanted an Xbox
He's
joystick.
spontaneous.
Then you tell me you wanted the Xbox joystick? Yeah, you got it.
What do you think? You play Fortnite?
Peace, peace, peace. This your brother Monroe Jr. So we just heard Meek Mill's son. I thought that was such a beautiful expression of the young man. The young brother says that he wants his father, he wants his old man, his pops to get married. And that's right, young man. That's the way that us as men should conduct ourselves. We should try to find that woman who is tailor-made for us, and we should grow together and help each other. So that's beautiful, that young brother at that age desires that for his father, as that shows his parents have done a great job to this point up in his upbringing for him. They ask him, what does he desire? Most children ain't thinking on that level. This young brother want marriage for his old man. That's beautiful. And marriage is such a beautiful institution that our Creator set up to make the female and the male understand life from a different perspective, right? And it's such a beautiful thing. I was blessed myself to be married for 7 years, and I really thank our Creator for it, because even though me and my ex-wife end up getting a divorce, it's nothing I ever wanted. Any thing about me that was not perfect, I've always been open to counseling, to correction, to edification, to modification. That's the only way we can grow. None of us should ever get too arrogant or proud or lofty where our spouse or our significant other can't correct us in the proper spirit or seek counseling. Don't just give up on your relationship, brothers and sisters. It's a journey, and your potential mate, no matter how good they look on the outside, they're not perfect. They're going, marriage is an ebb and flow sometimes. It's not always on the up and up. Sometimes you hit some bumps in the road along your path. And it's how you handle those bumps that can absolutely put your tire on flat, right? It's how you handle those bumps that can make or break your relationship. Some people they see a bump coming and they want to run over it exceedingly fast. Well, yeah, that'll put your tire on flat. It wasn't designed for that, right? Some things you gotta assess. You gotta Both people got to look at it. And if you don't have the knowledge on how to overcome that hurdle, it's best that you seek that knowledge or get counseling from people who have already overcome that particular hurdle themselves. You know, in Corinthians, it says, in the scripture says, love never gives up. It never loses faith. Is always hopeful. It endures through every circumstance. Think over that, brothers and sisters. It never gives up. You should never give up. No champion ever gives up. You fight to the end. You never retire off your post of loving your significant other, no matter what they are manifesting at that moment. You let them go through what they're going through and you try to help them to the best of your abilities. You try to get the help that they might need, right? So it was a man, I heard a quote, I think it was Will Ferrell said, before you marry a person, you should first make them use a computer with slow internet to see who they really are, to see what's sitting up in them. It's good, you know, before you marry a person, to try them, to test them, to see what their character is like, to see what their patience is like, right? Not that you're trying to bring the worst out of them, but you know, it's just good to see what's lying in a person. You know, and the goal in marriage, as I heard a quote, is not to think alike, but to think together. Right? Love is not something that we feel. It's not an emotional feeling. It's something we do. And Brother Neary said the goal is not to see what you can get from the other person. It's to see how much you can outdo the other person in giving. Ain't that beautiful, brothers and sisters, that if we had that type of mindset where we're competing with each other to see how we can outgive each other, oh man, that's something else there. That's something else. And I'll say probably in my last marriage, we hit a little bump in the road. I was going through a situation at corporate America where, I had a situation where some of my money was getting stolen on my accounts. And it was directly affecting my bonuses, right? I was like the top earner at the company out of over 200 agents, right? I was blessed, you know what I'm saying? I was pulling in like $5,000 to $8,000 a month. I was blessed. But then, my bonuses started to get impacted because, my money was getting stolen. So I went to the managers, I'm letting them know, hey, this is going on. Nobody does anything. So I go up higher to the director of operation. He doesn't do anything. So I go up to the president, the executive. He doesn't do anything. So I work my way all the way up to the owner. And I guess the owner felt some kind of way because, I'm a worker, you know what I'm saying? And I guess they feel like we the property, we the chattel, and whatever is fed to the chattel should just receive it and be grateful, right? Even though I work for it and it's getting stolen from me, I should just be grateful for what's given to me. So, and I was respectful with all of them, but hey, I guess they didn't receive it too well, even in all the respect that I gave. And, I end up having to leave that company, but it seems as though when I left that company, it was a ricochet effect in my field of dealing with different institutions. And it's like they would give me all the junk, it's like it was almost like I was blacklisted to certain accounts. And I'm going to different companies. I'm like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So I know it was something done to my reputation, but it's all good though. That's why we're talking about the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, do for self or suffer the consequences, right? Because whenever you're in another man's house, to some degree, you're subject to his laws and his rules, even if they're unjust. So that's why you got to go out and build your own house, right? So that took a direct impact on my marriage, the financial backdrop that happened, the ricochet effect, right? It was catastrophic to some degree. And I've always, tried to have several streams of income. That's very important and vital, brothers, that if we're working for our open enemies, that we make pace, that we make motion and maneuvers and do what we got to do to have several streams of income. Especially if you have a stay-at-home wife, because it's not in her nature to have to worry about finances. And out of the 7 years me and my ex-wife were married, I can say she probably worked maybe 8, 9 months, 10 months, right? She didn't work very long over the duration of our 7 years we were married, because I always tried to do what I had to do as a man to provide for my family. And that's the type of mindset we should have, even if it takes working 2 jobs, brother. If that black woman want to stay at the house and rear your children and look after you, well, that's their nature. For the black and brown woman, for women in general, that's the way that the God made them, to serve us, right? To do whatever little side business that they want to do at the house. What do they like to do? Every woman has a gift, skill, or talent. Well, she can be working on that also while she's at the house to help occupy her mind, right? And then eventually, before you know it, brother, you will be off the job yourself, and y'all can do a family dynamic duo business, right? So that's what it's about. It's about gradualism, but it's about working through those bumps and those hurdles, because they're bound to come. Our Creator wants to try us. He wants to know what is his product made of. And you don't know what your product is ultimately made of unless you put that product under different tests to see if it can hold or stand up against this amount of pressure. How much weight can it take? If it can take this weight, then I know I can charge this price for this product, right? So my point is, brothers and sisters, marriage is a beautiful institution. It's made to bring the best and the worst out of us. But if we can see the worst when it comes out as an opportunity to grow, then when you grow from that experience, when you grow from that lesson, then the worst of you pull the best out of you. And that's the perspective we have to have about marriage and about life, right? It's how we fill each other gaps, as Rocky said, huh? And a quote from John Bon Jovi, he said that his secret was, if his wife ever told him she was leaving him, he was coming with her. I've always been the type of person where I never wanted to quit or just give up. You invest that time, that effort, that energy with that person, work through the difficulty. And that's why the divorce rate is so high, because people hit a bump. They like, I'm tired of this person, and they just give up, right? Everybody wants the peachy king perfect journey. And that's not reality, brothers and sisters. I hate to tell you that. Right? So work through your difficulty and learn from your lessons, because in every lesson is a great, great blessing, brothers and sisters. This your brother Monroe Jr. Let's give a virtual salute to Meek Mill's son. This your brother Monroe Jr. I'm signing off. Peace.